I'm with Larry Gordon today, and we are going to discuss his legal career. Larry, thank you for being here today.
It is my pleasure.
So, a few questions. Well, where did you go to school?
To law school?
Well, undergrad.
Undergrad, I went to Dartmouth College. Graduated
Impressive.
in 1979.
Law school?
And then after that, I went right from there to Northwestern University Law School out in Chicago, and I graduated there in 1982.
Nice. Was it a good experience?
To be honest with you, at the time it was a very difficult experience going to law school because it was a tremendous amount of work and you felt like you could never get through it. It was very competitive, but it was a great learning experience when you were all done. Like a lot of things that are hard, when you're done with it, you appreciated everything you learned and you appreciated that you could have a career as a lawyer. But when I first started, it was very, very hard, but very rewarding by the end.
That's great to hear. Well, what made you want to become a lawyer?
That's another good question. My father was a lawyer, and his father was a lawyer, so I think there was a little bit of almost that expectation growing up that that's something that you would get involved in. But as I went through college, and I didn't have anything specific in mind when I was in college, as I was taking courses, every time I thought about where I might like to do, what type of things I might like to do, I was more oriented towards the law and learning about how things work, whether it's the government or the criminal justice or just how to write contracts or negotiating or any of those things. That kind of appealed to me. So I think at that point I just decided it's worth trying, and I went to law school. And like I said, it was hard, but once I started to get over the hump in law school, and I was like eager to have that kind of a career.
Okay. So, tell me a little bit about your career as a lawyer.
Well, I started out actually working for my father, who's in his own private practice, and he's involved in insurance law. And what he did and what we now do is we represent companies as well as individuals like our own homes that have insurance claims, and we represent them in their negotiations with insurance companies to make sure if they have damage to their home or their business that they get paid enough money by the insurance companies as far as what the insurance policy calls for. So we're basically representing insurance holders, policy holders, in their negotiations with the insurance companies.
What is the most rewarding thing about your job?
It's probably a little bit of a cliche, but it's the people. I mean, and particularly in my line of work, you're dealing with, like a lot of lawyers, you're dealing with people that have had problems. So for me, it's people who have had, damages, fire or water damage or something to their home or their business, and they think everything's lost. And you see them at the hardest moment that they have, where they just don't know how they're going to get through and get to the next day, let alone the next month. And they worry about the money, and they worry about their life or their business. And part of it is helping them through the process, not just getting them paid by the insurance company, but part of sort of that emergency process that they have to go through, and trying to help them realize that things will get taken care of and they'll be better. And sometimes by the end, when you see people who wish it had never happened, but once it's done and their home is restored or their business is back up and running and they can move ahead with their life, they're very appreciative. So aside from the money, which is obviously a big part of being a lawyer, it's probably just helping people out is the nicest part of it.
Yeah. Sounds like a very nice job.
It is. Sometimes it's not always that easy, but it can be rewarding.
Well, it's a great interview.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I enjoyed being interviewed by you.